Hello, and welcome back to Robots Don't Age, the podcast where we ask the important questions like, does the time travel in the Terminator franchise give you that hoopin' ballin' all day stank dick? I'm your host, Cody, and with me today is Keyauni Kern. How you doing?
Hello, I am doing great.
Would you like to tell anyone about your credentials, artists, anything else?
Oh yeah, like I paint shit and I feel like I'm a pretty good motivator. I like to make people believe in themselves and shit. Make you believe that you can fucking do anything cuz you can. Yeah. I do face painting as a side hustle. That's
And what what have you been watching lately?
I've been watching The 100 on Netflix.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's this show. Have you seen it?
Yeah, actually, I watched the first couple seasons.
Yeah, I'm on like the third season right now, and it's pretty fucking dope. I like it. There are some parts that are like hella cringeworthy, and there's like emotional moments when there shouldn't be emotional moments. Like,
It's a teen drama on CW.
yeah, yeah. But I like the blood and the gore and the, you know.
I mean, yeah, it was a good show. I just kind of stopped watching it because I got got busy. It happens.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I've been watching that, and then I've also been watching it's a cartoon. Go figure. Something about Wonder Beasts on Netflix.
Huh, Wonder Beast.
It's a
What kind of show?
I'm looking right now. I'm looking right now. It's called Kipo and the Wonder Beast. It's like a little anime thing. It's kids cartoon. I don't know. I fucking love it. And then of course, I also like blew through all of the seasons of Avatar Airbender when that fucking
I've still
came
got
back
five
out.
episodes.
Do you really?
Yeah, we've got 5 episodes left. We just finished the Boiling Rock episode like 2 weeks ago, and then we're just waiting now. We haven't gotten back to it.
Bro.
I
Bro.
know.
I couldn't stop. I was like, it's my childhood. It's my childhood and it feels so good. I gotta watch it all. I gotta watch it all right now. Like I binge watched that shit.
I told her we could probably finish it tonight. I'm excited about it. Because it is a really good story, and I've been enjoying it. We just got sidetracked. It happens so often with me in TV shows.
I heard that they're making like that Netflix is gonna make a live action one, and they better not fuck it up because the other live action thing was trash. Trash. It was absolute trash. I hate that fucking movie.
Oh, what an unpopular opinion.
I
Bold stance
know.
to take.
I know. There was
Yeah.
somebody had commented on, because I had like posted the cartoon and they were like, "Yeah, I saw the movie. It was actually pretty good." I said, "No. Don't talk to me. I feel like I should block you right now."
Just private message them like, I need to take some time away from our friendship. I hope you understand. You caused me emotional trauma that I cannot quite heal from, and I just need you to respect that.
I need you to respect it. Stay the fuck away from me.
I thought you were someone I could trust and respect, but you have hurt me in ways that cannot be healed with anything less than time.
It's pain. You caused me anguish, bitch. Get away from me.
I've actually been watching two shows that I want to recommend to you personally. I think you'd really love the humor.
And they are.
They are Dave on FX. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's a Little Dicky show.
I love Little Dicky.
Yeah, it's a semi-autobiographical show about Lil Dicky and how he became, Lil Dicky and rapper and all that. And it's hilarious, and it has a lot of emotional moments too that you wouldn't expect. I mean, it's on Hulu. It's got like one season. You can binge it. I highly recommend you binge it.
I will watch it. I will most definitely watch it because
It e-
he's very funny.
it even like fills out a storyline to one of my favorite Lil Dicky songs, Molly. If you're familiar with that one.
I'd have to listen to it. I'm horrible with like names of
Oh
songs.
yeah, it's heartbreaking, man. It's a beautiful song though. I love it.
I
But
probably have heard it. I just, like I said, I'm fucking awful with names of songs. You gotta like play it or sing some of it for me to be like, oh yeah, that one, that song.
oh yeah, I'm sure you've heard it. I'm positive. And What We Do in the Shadows. Have you heard of it?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so it's about vampires living on Staten Island,
Hmm.
and it's like a goofy comedy filled with ridiculous, oddball situations and deadpan humor. And they have an assistant or familiar named Guillermo who looks just like Guillermo del Toro, like a young man, in my opinion. And he just wants to be a vampire so bad. He's my favorite character. I think you would really appreciate that entire show. Every bit of humor just like reminds me of something you would appreciate.
So what did you say that was on?
Hulu. They're both on
Hulu.
Hulu.
Okay, all right, dope. I definitely have Hulu.
I know you're not a gamer yourself, but there are two video games I've been playing lately too. The Last of Us 2, which just came out, I've loved it. I know a lot of people are complaining that makes you feel like a piece of shit because of all the killing that you have to do and whatnot. And
Don't
you
most
know,
video games consist of a lot of fucking killing
well,
though? So
here's the thing. Like in this game, let's say there's a group of like three people and they have two dogs.
okay.
So you go to kill one of the people, and let's say this person's name is like Mark. As you're sitting there stabbing Mark to death, they'll yell out passionately and emotionally that you're stabbing their friend to death.
Oh.
And then when the dog comes to kill you, you stab the dog, and they'll do the same thing and call him like Tank or whatever cry out for him
Oh,
basically.
Tank, no!
Right. And people are complaining that it's making them kind of feel like a piece of shit, which I find interesting. I don't really get though, because it's like kill or be killed. It's the same as any other video game to me. I mean,
I would think that, like, with every other video game that I've watched, because I've been around a lot of gamers, a lot of my friends are gamers, and like every video game that I've watched, like, there's a lot of that. Like, is it because maybe it looks a lot more realistic or it feels a lot more realistic to them? Like,
yeah, I think it's supposed to just bring out more of an emotional response. I just don't know exactly what aspect of it's supposed to dredge that up, or maybe it's like a later part in the game that's supposed to really hit you in the feels. But so far, I'm having a great time playing it. I just don't feel anything about killing NPCs because they're still NPCs.
yeah,
Spoiler. And another one on the complete opposite scale of that is Maneater. Have you heard anything about this game?
no.
All right, that makes sense. But hear me out on this one. You're familiar with the movie Jaws, right?
Yes.
All right, now just imagine your Jaws.
I would totally be fucking okay with that. I would play that.
You go swimming around. You start out as like a little baby pup shark. You get like gutted from your mother, and as the guy's sitting there like marking you with his knife because he's a dick, you bite off his hand and jump back into the water. So you swim away, and then you grow from like this little pup into a bigger and bigger shark by fighting other fish and humans, and
Hmm.
taking down like bounty hunters and working your way back up to what I would have to assume is revenge. I mean, the whole plot of the game is to be, a man eater. The whole narration of it is like a reality TV show that's following your shark around as an anti-hero, and it's just like goofy, ridiculous, over the top fun where you have to fight a barracuda and an alligator at the same time.
That sounds great.
I've been having a great time playing it.
It just makes me think of like a movie, like with a person, like a redemption, like this person killed my mother and now I'm out to fucking get him. Like he's got that anger since fucking childhood and he's gonna bite you right in the dick.
It's well, yeah. Actually, I think it's probably an option. It's like the Batman of sharks, is what I'm getting at.
That's fucking great. I would play that. I don't play many video games, but I would play that.
It's so goofy too, because you'll have moments where it's like, and this fish is only found in fresh water. I have no idea what it's doing here. Like the game's very on the nose with what it's doing. Oh, there's turtles and all these other things. You jump around over barriers. I don't know. I've had a great time playing it though. You can upgrade it to like get ridiculous things, electric teeth for your sharks, so when you bite, you shock things around you. Just over the top modifications. I can't wait to get farther in it. Definitely, besides those two games, I just finished listening to Stephen King's The Stand, which, if you're not familiar with, is his 1,400 page book, and the audible version of it is 47 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that lasted me about a month worth of working before I decided, because you got to bounce around between other things. You
No,
don't
I
just listen to that.
I completely understand. Like I can't just listen to one thing. I'd be listening to like three books at the same time.
Yeah, it's extremely
Hey.
relevant though to our times if you're not familiar with it at all.
Mm-mm.
It starts out with a deadly virus called Captain Trips being released. Yeah, and I'm not going to get too much into it, but it's a great book, one of Stephen King's classics.
You said it's called The Stand?
The Stand.
The Stand.
And I recommend getting it on Audible because it's 47 hours, and if you get it with your free credit, it won't cost you $50.
This bitch has 3 credits waiting.
Definitely recommend that one.
Let's try it.
All right.
I just finished listening to a book called Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. It's very but it's called An Uncommon Dialogue. So it's basically like this guy he like has this conversation with God. It's like basically he writes these questions down on a piece of paper, and then he hears these answers, so he writes down the answers too. And it's all very deep and kind of fits along with a lot of like the law of attraction shit that I've talked to you about before. And there are other people that can explain it so much better than me. Good books to check out for that would be The Secret, 48 Laws of Power, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You should Bob Proctor is a great person to follow. You can look him up on YouTube. He really breaks it down for you very, very, very well.
Okay, cool. I appreciate it. Do you have anything else you want to recommend or talk about before we take a quick break and get to the actual subject of the episode?
No.
Very concise answer. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Brief.
Yeah.
To the point.
Yep. I'm good at that, you know. Not
Okay.
Hey you, sitting right there sipping your low-carb sissy beer. You gonna need to toss that shit right over your shoulder and lean on closer because I got an offer for you. Come on down to the Mobile BattleBot universe today to bear witness to some of the most brutal robotic combat ever seen. One that leans its accomplishments to the great and glorious Southern engineer. Come put that master's in engineering degree to good use by throwing that shit to the side and show the world how innovative Southern-made ingenuity can save us all from a life of menial tasks, switching from one YouTube video to the next, perhaps a little Pornhub in between. Looking at you, Clyde.
My bad.
Bring a youngin' in and get 2 free cans of Primo WD-40. But this ain't just a take-home treat. Toss them sons of bitches in the arena and watch the robots glide gracefully while throwing death-bringing chunks of steel and sparks everywhere. What could go wrong? So come on down to the Mobile BattleBot universe today. Located at Jimmy's Barn down the road from the old McGolden farm. You know, down by where we used to pick the honeysuckles. Come on down today. We'll be waiting on you.
And we're back. This next segment will include some minor spoilers for Turbo Kid. Yeah, because, this doesn't really come up until about 45 minutes in. I think page 45 on the script, probably. But Apple, the robot.
Yes, she's my favorite.
She's a friendship unit. You know what? Like, I was talking to Taylor. I was like, I love her in the same way that I love Erin from The Office. Like, I just want to give her a blanket and have some hot chocolate and just, like, protect her. She's so wholesome and innocent. You just love her.
Fuck yeah.
How do you feel about Apple, man?
Okay, she's just like...
Oh, you know what? Actually, before I get into that, for those people who may not be familiar with it, do you want to describe Turbo Kid?
Yes. Okay, so you're set in like this post-apocalyptic world, and this kid's... How old would you say he is? Like 12? 13?
Oh, come
maybe?
on. He's probably...
14, maybe, but I feel like he acts like he's like 13.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's supposed to be like the nostalgic audience, but I'd say his character's probably like a weird 18-year-old, like the oldest. He's like that awkward, kind of like reclusive, introverted guy.
But it's like...
I mean, that's the whole shtick of the movie, though. It's like an
true.
80s nostalgic throwback.
I was about to say, it's very like cult, it has very like cult classic feel to it. Like there's this sweet 80s bike montage like in the beginning, and he like hits this jump and they do it like in slow motion. It's like, it just gives you, it's just a great
Sorry,
feel.
I didn't mean to cut off your description.
No,
but anyways.
it's okay. But anyway, post-apocalyptic world, you have this kid, he's surviving on his own, and there are obviously, there's lots of people, there's people who are in power, and like, what's the one thing? Money doesn't exist anymore, so water. And so he ends up running into this robot, and at first he just thinks she's a girl, but she's a friendship unit, so she becomes like his best friend, and she like slaps this bracelet on his wrist and then like stalks him back to his place, or his little underground bunker. And I think this is probably one of my favorite parts in the movie. A lot of my favorite parts actually involve Apple majority of the time. But there's this part where she because she sneaks into the bunker and he's like, you're in my manly bubble. And then she just steps up all close to him. She's like, did I break it? And she's just so sweet and innocent and just concerned about the fact that she may have broke his bubble. And it's just, I feel like that moment just kind of like sets the tone for who Apple is as a character throughout the rest of the freaking movie.
I agree. It's just such a like a deadpan thing. She's like, "Did I break it?" She's so worried about it. It's hard not to. Do you want to hear about my? I have 2 descriptions I could probably give for Turbo Kid if that works.
Yeah, go ahead.
Taking place in 1997, it's a post-apocalyptic world where like the 80s nostalgic nerd culture just threw up over everything, put people on BMX bikes. It's like Mad Max on BMX with a little bit of Dune and references to everything you love from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, that's very good. It's a very good description.
And it's directed, actually, fun fact, it's directed by 3 people, which to my knowledge is the only movie directed by 3 people.
Really?
Yeah, it's a team of 3 people that directed it, and I've heard them talk about it on a podcast. Their process is flawless. They just know who to go to for every aspect of the production. If someone has a question about wardrobe, they can direct them to this person, or a question about where they need to go for the camera. This person, it's just like a very well-ran machine between 3 people.
That sounds great. Like, because I feel like everybody has like, you know, like 1 to 2 things that they're like fucking boss at. Like they've just got an eye for it. And that team sounds like a great fucking plan to get shit done.
Yeah, it sounds like they managed to work really well together with their strengths and weaknesses. I don't know how. It sounds like it'd be a madhouse on set, but I mean, I'm envious personally. That sounds ridiculously like well done.
But I mean, don't you kind of like with your Red Lens Productions? Like, don't you kind of do that? Like,
yeah, I mean, on set we definitely have a similar chemistry, but it's not like, I mean, CJ and I can co-direct pretty flawlessly, but we still know on a set of like 5 or 6 people, we're going to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's different than being on I assume they had a significantly big set to at least, comparative to what I'm used to.
Oh, yeah.
And having 3 directors leading everything at a time is something you don't really hear or see.
I wonder if they just like delegated specific areas to specific directors.
I'm sure they did certain production standpoints and everything. Like I said earlier, wardrobe, sound, camera direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the point of Apple. I love her character. I can't get enough of her bubbly personality and her childlike wonder. Like her entire existence is just to be the best possible friend she can be, no matter what.
And so she's like hella into everything he's into. She's always like, "That's so rad." Or I love scavenging.
Oh, what are you reading? Turbo Rider? Oh, that's great.
Like, she's just so into everything. She's the best. She's literally the best friend that you could ask for.
Like, because I was rewatching this, like I said, yesterday, and if I had to pick a dystopian apocalypse to live in, it would be the Turbo Kid universe, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm not saying I'd survive or have a great chance of it, but just the goofy, off-the-wall stuff that happens, I would at least have a great laugh while I'm getting my guts pulled out by,
Even, like, the bicycles, like, that they all ride around on bicycles. Like, you see this, like, team of, and they're supposed to be badasses, and they're like, let's ride out, and then they all hop on their fucking BMX bikes and fucking ride out.
I remember when you first told me about this movie. That was the moment that first really grabbed my attention, because I was watching it and I'm like, wait. I was like, all right, he's on a bicycle. That makes sense. I'm like, wait, the bad guys are on bikes? I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm in. I want to see this. What happens now?
Everyone's on bicycles.
Just the primitive weaponry, the hammer nunchucks, the saw blade shooter.
Yeah. The hammer nunchucks fucking had me rolling. And then,
I forgot how over the top gory it gets too.
I know. I was about to say that. Like even just like the part where like somebody blows up and it's like literally like they just took a garden hose looking thing, splattered in blood, and just like tossed that shit on top of it, and everything just sprays like a water hose too. All the blood. Anybody slightly gets cut, it's like everywhere.
It's just like the most over-the-top, gory, like Evil Dead-esque violence.
And then the umbrella. The umbrella.
I don't want to give away too many kills, but the umbrella, that was definitely an over-the-top one.
That one was definitely notable.
Yeah, I mean the movie itself has strong like Mad Max Thunderdome vibes. It's got a little bit of that Evil Dead feel to it in terms of the gore, like I mentioned. There's a bit of Dune in there. I would say for people that are familiar with the franchise, they probably have an idea of what I'm referring to, but I'm not going to get too much into it because I think it might be a spoiler.
But no, I absolutely love it. I think everybody should watch it.
I
It's
can't recommend Turbo Kid enough either.
I feel like I do a lot. I'm like, you need to watch this movie.
Can you believe this came out in 2015? By the way,
What?
yeah, 2015, man, 5 years ago.
I feel like it would have came. I just feel like that is something that would have been produced so much earlier. That's probably why it has that fucking feel to it, is because it reminds me so much of that. But I'm still shocked that it was 2015.
And it's such like an over the top nostalgic 80s fest, like even for a time period that neither of us lived in. I think it has such beautiful vibes to it.
No, but I feel like we watched like those movies growing up because our parents and whatnot, and like the people before, like that's just shit that like I watched the Goonies and stuff like that, and it's just it's got that feel to it.
I mean, even one of the main weapons in there is basically like a Nintendo Power Glove ripoff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really thought about that before, but it's totally there.
No, but it is.
Yeah, I was watching this last time. I'm like, oh, that's the Nintendo. Yeah, that's totally the Nintendo Power Glove. Yeah, yeah. Now they're playing with power.
Now they've got electricity.
Such great like weaponry and even the effects for what I know their budget was probably not a lot. They got a lot done with what they had.
I agree. I agree completely.
Do you have any favorite Apple lines by chance?
Oh yeah. Okay. The gnome stick was probably one of my favorites. She gets this. Is it cool if I explain? This might fuck up the movie a little bit for you, but anyway,
No, go ahead.
she one of his rules, he's going through and he's telling her all these rules of living in the wasteland and whatnot, and one of them is always have a weapon, and if you don't have a weapon, make one. And so they find a bat, a broken bat, and a gnome, and so they just duct tape it to this bat, and he hands it to her, and she's like, "This is beautiful.
This is my gnome stick! Ah! Ah!
She's like, ah! And then she runs around swinging it, so stoked about it. It's freaking great.
I can't say for sure, but I think that gnome stick has one of the higher body counts of the entire movie.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Because she just, no mercy. No mercy attacks, like, is on it. If they say fight, she's like, down. Apple's down. And she's out here killing it. She don't wait for people to say start. She's just like, ha! It's freaking awesome.
And she does all of it while being this little wholesome, innocent thing that you just want to take care of. I don't know how, but she does.
But she does. Show no mercy. What'd she say? Because she teaches him how to fight. She says, show no, or always attack first, show no mercy, and then I don't remember the third one.
Let's see. Surprise?
I think that was the attack first. She explains each one after, but I don't remember.
I'll tell you what, though, it's definitely the eyes, neck, and genitals.
Yes.
She had such a great time.
She's like, this is so fun. He's over there dying like, oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying this.
Yeah, rewatching that, I cringed a little bit. I sympathized with the guy. Like, I could feel his pain.
Like, she could have just explained that. No.
No, it's much more effective this way if you experience it firsthand, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll never forget it. That's for sure.
Do you have any closing thoughts about Turbo Kid or Apple?
I would just say it's a great fucking movie. Like I said before, cult classic-y. Everyone should definitely watch it. I would recommend this to anyone. If you've got a weak stomach, though, like if you're really, really sensitive and got a weak stomach, because I have met people who I tried to get watch this and were like, I can't. And I'm just like, okay. So if you've got a really weak stomach, then maybe you shouldn't, but still try. Still try.
Very cartoony, kind of over the top gore to me, but
that's how I felt. That's how I felt too, because I'd be sensitive when it comes to shit like that as well. But this didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I don't get it. But I mean, hey, different people, different strokes.
Yeah. different strokes for different folks.
All right, you want to plug anything before you get out of here? Any websites, Twitter handle?
Yes. I don't have Twitter, but Instagram, at Abundant Studio. And I also have TikTok. I don't know how you feel about TikTok, but I have a TikTok. It's at Abundant Studio as well. And then the website is abundantstudio.com.
Cool. And you can follow the podcast on Twitter at Robots Don't Age. And I'm on Twitter as well at Cody Has Coffee. And redlandsproductions.com, which will redirect you to our YouTube channel. All right. I think that's about it. Anything else?
Nope. That is it.
All right. Well, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys.